I'm Savannah and this is my culturally competence video. Question 1. I think what it means to become a culturally competent educator is addressing your implicit biases that you have through, if you're in denial, addressing that and just addressing it, tackling it, and moving forward without it. And then always asking questions and never assuming. And then when asking questions about different cultures, just handling it with sincerity and authenticity, like to make sure you're not offending anyone. And if you do, you're authentically, sorry, obviously. And then another way would be diversifying the people I'm around if I could. And like the type of people, like different races, different socioeconomic, different genders, different sizes, stuff like that. And then another way would just be practicing how I'd practice in the classroom, just include everyone. Simple as that. And then understanding that everyone is their own unique person. I'm my own unique person. It's because of my background, my gender, my size, my upbringing, and everybody else's upbringing that makes each person unique. That's amazing. Question 2. I think I'm in this stage, not cultural pre-competence, but not quite cultural competence yet. I feel like I'm actively trying to learn about other people's cultures, working on being inclusive. I value diversity and I value the differences that people have, and I'm committed to social justice and in the process of learning about and developing these culturally competent skills. But I feel like I'm not quite I'm totally not street smart, and I'm just becoming book smart. So I'd like to be totally well-rounded, culturally competent. I need book smart and street smart, and I just need that street smart aspect, I think, to fully grasp being culturally competent. And then for a specific controversial, culturally based issue that affects K-12 education, I would say Spanish-speaking children coming into elementary schools not knowing as much English as the other kids. And how I would handle this is just making accommodations to those people and learning about Mexican culture and Latin culture, or Latin America culture. And then through that, learning that people from Latin America, they have bigger families and they like to party more, and they are more group settings, where the US is more individualistic. Just knowing some of those things would really help the children. That's what I would try to do. And then learning some words, just trying to make an atmosphere where the kids would really feel close with me, and then that would help them learn. And being culturally competent in that situation, I think, is key. Question 3. I think what it'll take for me to get to a deeper understanding of cultural competence is by having a little bit of experience under my belt and getting a little bit of street smarts, and just asking those questions, interacting with different people than me, and learning, honestly. And then if I'm not quite sure, if I have a diverse classroom, I can always ask someone that is different from me, so I have a different opinion actually, and then ask them to just come to the classroom, watch what I can't see, and just give me some tips. Tell me if I'm doing the right things, what I could improve on, stuff like that. And then another way I could deepen my cultural competency is by creating a classroom that accommodates for other people. And cultural competency does not mean you treat everyone equal, but it means that you accommodate for each person and give as much love or not affection, attention as they need, and each person's different. And then I would just support my kids socially and emotionally,
Book smart,
as well as accommodating for them. Question 4. So, when I was in my cultural communications class, this guy came in. He was a part of a church. He wasn't a pastor, but he was just a part of the church. And he has a course that like educates you about like people of color's history and just becoming culturally competent in that area. And I thought it would be a really valuable class to take as a teacher, as an educator, like just anything. Like becoming more culturally competent is obviously applicable into every field. And I think that course would be something that I could put on my resume. It would be very helpful to learn for myself too, and I could use it for my whole life. I also think you could become more culturally competent as an educator through going on a missions trip, or like more specifically study abroad trips, so you could really like understand the culture more and make more connections with people and have a deeper understanding of why that culture acts the way it does, or like why people interact with people the way they do. And a part of that, like that's like the street smart of that. And then the book smart, which I learned about in cultural communications, is Hofstede's values, which just gives like what each country values in different areas, and it's really interesting. And it just kind of gives like a scope of what the country is like. So if I have children from a different, like their parents immigrated from a different country, or they immigrated from a different country, like learning about what their country values the most would be very beneficial for me to know, because then I would know like why they're acting the way they do, how they're thinking, and stuff like that. Question 5. I think making a culturally inclusive classroom will look like doing my hardest to include everyone and help anyone who's struggling with the material and just accommodate to their needs. And then I think another way is just by having humility to change my preferred teaching style, so then I can teach better and grow. And then I really liked how Lindsay did this, Lindsay Chins, in the classroom from the Teach documentary, and how she created the 360 math teacher model. And I really liked how she had the humility to change like her whole setup, just because she wanted to accommodate to her kids' needs, because the way she was teaching just wasn't connecting as well. And then as a math teacher, I think having a specific way. Question 6. I will ensure I'm respecting students that are different from me or have different values from me by becoming culturally competent in their culture, or if it's a different socioeconomic group, like culturally competent and just understanding their background. And also I would have a two-way conversation and create this atmosphere where it's like, yes, I am a real person, I am learning, and if I do offend you, please tell me what offended you so I don't do it again, because I care about you and I love you and I want to have a relationship and a safe atmosphere in our classroom. So having a two-way relationship and becoming culturally competent in their culture would be how I made an effort to not offend anyone, and just knowing that we can have different opinions, and that's amazing. Hi, hope you liked my video. Have a nice morning, evening, or afternoon. Bye.